action.
All right, this is the first split internal presentation. This is getting ready for the Hult Prize. We have 8 minutes, and what we will be doing is taking a very big idea of restructuring mobility, or really to get traction, to kind of, it's kind of like smart mobility has come here, Uber, all these kinds of things are here, but we aren't really seeing the benefits of it yet. So this is a framework of doing transportation in a new way, invented by Split, that we're going to be pitching in China. So we open up with our logo Split, and rather than being splitting rides, the main thing that we're going to be talking about here is we're going to be splitting people's transportation on a daily level, split it to near and far, because today they basically think about a car to go everywhere in a region. We're going to be talking about how people will, in their future, live in a more localized area in their community, in their neighborhood, or then go far for other trips, and how our smart network is going to be able to help people live a better life, lower their cost of transportation, as well as exploiting this idea of this network for the purpose of very low cost distribution of goods in a developing economy, which we think could actually help companies get started and hire people and create more jobs, because they have an opportunity to distribute their goods so inexpensively that's not offered them today. So the slides basically open from Split, and the next slide is how to quickly, graphically, as fast as we can, hit on urban mobility future and problems. It's a mess out there, both from climate, it's a problem out there in terms of pollution in cities, it's a problem, people are obese and not walking, there's all these problems. We only have really 5 to 10 seconds to get these massive megatrends and problems established, that we're here to talk about the thing that everybody knows about. And it is a problem that they all know about. The next slide could also be that here are all these new things on the scene. There are new companies and new services coming. Uber, we may not want to use that actually slide of Uber or their brand, but the thing is we've got all this new stuff coming, and we're still really not getting all that much traction with it. We're still sitting in traffic jams. We're still not moving. So even though the new technology is coming, we haven't really figured out what to do. Okay, then we basically switch gears very quickly, and we take the viewer in a place that they're not going to expect at all. And we're going to say, basically, transportation, as most cities think about it, whether it's their transportation departments or whoever, transportation is thought about really as one category of transportation. Whether it's Los Angeles, whether it's Beijing, pretty much it's all about cars and trucks and the vehicles we move through our cities. And what we say is what the average human knows today is pretty much 2 modes of transportation. And this is a thing that people don't talk about at all yet. So 2 modes of transportation, what's that? So I see the cars and trucks, and we say these cars and trucks, they're always in Chicago. They don't go to LA. The ones that are in LA are always there. The ones that are in Mumbai are always there. So basically these vehicles that are designed to go across the entire continent at 60 miles an hour are mostly, always in the same city. So that's one we all know. So what's the next one? And then the slide just goes, whoop, and we see the plane. Oh, of course, the plane. That's how we go across a nation. That's how we go far. So the 2 modes of travel we know are cars and trucks, the metropolitan ones we use in our cities today, and air travel. So, okay, we know that. So what are you talking about? A third one. And we basically can refer to, well, this is the United States and not a developing country. The average price of a new car is $32,000. And it's like, boom, we see a third. We see local transportation, walking, biking, small electric vehicles, scooters, maybe even Google's self-driving cars picking people up, maybe little local shuttles. But these vehicles could be made for $2,000. They could be 3D printed. They could be made by a high school kid if they had to. Local transportation is not given much time today. So boom, we've just now gone into 3 modes of transportation, and we've talked about the difference of a big car costing 32 grand and a little vehicle costing $500. The other thing we say in urban mobility is we got to realize that the solutions are going to be different in each density. And we just very quickly in one slide say we see the world in 2 ways: thick city and thin city. We show New York and we show Phoenix, Arizona, or the suburbs of Beijing. Either way, thick and thin. And so we talk about this problem. Basically, in thick city today, it's better. We have, people are able to move better in dense areas because they can walk and get to places they want to go. In thin cities, where we're having all these problems in the suburbs, and because of the problems there, we're not being able to actually help our cities really get moving better. So, and then we basically talk about, in thin city though, where we want people to do this, we get to the metaphor of the the river, and it says, we think alternative transportation is like stepping stones. And we go, bing, bing, bing. The problem is the stepping stones aren't well aligned, so we need to help align these in a way. So we've now set this whole thing up for the next step, which is the beginning of how somebody would get to work in a suburban area, how they're going to use their bicycle or their electric bike to get to a hub, how they're going to ride together using split software, how they're going to get to work, and if they want car sharing, it'll be available. And now they have this bundle happening, this transportation bundle. And we have this hub, and this hub might store electric bikes there. And then we also talk about maybe you take your electric bike onto the van to go to work, and that becomes bimodal. So we kind of create on our framework the ability to do these different things. Park your local vehicle, or take your local vehicle with you. And then we start to talk about how, it's like the first fax machine. Like the first fax machine was like, how did we get the fax network in this country? Well, we started with just 2 points, the CEO and his or her lawyer. And then so we had 2 points, and then bing, bing, they did 2 points, and then all of a sudden we start building a network. And then we say we can also leverage these networks of hubs to have some sort of very nice goods movement, whether it be boxes on top of cars or maybe inside of cars, but we can move goods from point to point. And we think this creates an opportunity for a very low cost distribution of goods, which could help developing countries start companies and actually go to these hubs and distribute their product throughout their region or to other regions in a very low cost way, which then ultimately is a job creator for them to be able to get more business. Then looking at the cost of this, we're taking the cost of transportation down. The cost of the average consumer is maybe save $5,000 a year in the United States. We can come up with different numbers for developing countries. And then we have basically more jobs, leveraging this type of a cellular network of urban mobility. We then have more jobs being created because we have this low cost distribution means. And then we talk about how this works on some of these different cities. And that's our idea, split or split.
Bravo!
That's awesome. That's a lot.